Hey, I want you to picture something for a second. You've been working on yourself, living your life, maybe even started talking to someone new, and then out of nowhere, she shows up again. Not physically, but suddenly, she's watching your stories, liking old photos, or maybe even sliding into your DMs with some random question about something that happened months ago. Sound familiar? See, most guys think that when they finally move on, that's the end of the story. But here's what they don't realize. That's actually when the real psychology kicks in. When a woman sees that you've genuinely moved forward, that you're not sitting around waiting for her, something shifts in her mind. And today, I'm breaking down exactly what happens in her head when she realizes you're no longer available. This isn't about games or manipulation. This is about understanding human nature and why absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder. It makes her question everything. The first thing that happens, she gets hit with reality. You see, when she left or when things ended, there was probably a part of her that assumed you'd always be there, that you'd be the backup plan, the safety net, the guy who'd come running if she ever changed her mind. But now she's seeing your life continue without her, and that comfort zone gets shattered. I had a friend who went through this exact situation. His ex broke up with him, said she needed space, wanted to find herself. Classic, right? But instead of chasing her or waiting around, he actually took that time to level up. 6 months later, she sees him at a mutual friend's party with a new girl, laughing, looking genuinely happy. She spent the whole night trying to get his attention. Why? Because the version of him she left behind was gone. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is something most guys never consider. She starts comparing her current situation to what she had with you. When you're moving forward, building new experiences, creating new memories, she's forced to look at her own life. And here's the thing about human psychology. We have this tendency to romanticize what we've lost. Those fights you used to have? She remembers them as passionate discussions. That routine you both fell into? Now it's comfortable stability. But it goes deeper than just nostalgia. She's watching you thrive, and it's making her question her decision-making. Because if you're doing so well without her, what does that say about her judgment? What does that say about her ability to recognize value when she had it? This isn't about her being a bad person. This is just how the human mind works when we're confronted with our choices having real consequences. Now comes the psychological shift that changes everything. You become scarce. When she had access to you, when she knew you were interested, available, hoping for another chance, you weren't rare. You were abundant in her world. But now you're moving on. You're focused on your own growth. Maybe you're even with someone new. Suddenly, you've become a limited edition. And here's what every guy needs to understand about attraction. Scarcity creates desire. When something becomes harder to get, we automatically assign it more value. It's not manipulation. It's basic human psychology. She's not just missing you now. She's missing the opportunity to have you. There's a difference, and that difference is everything. But here's where most guys mess this up. The entire power dynamic shifts, and she feels it immediately. Before, she held the cards. She could reach out whenever she wanted, knowing you'd respond. She could keep you on the back burner while she explored other options. But now that you've genuinely moved on, that power is gone. And for the first time, she's the one who has to wonder, would he even want to hear from me? This is when you'll start seeing those subtle attempts at reconnection. The Instagram story views, the accidental run-ins through mutual friends, the casual mentions of your name in conversations with people who know you both. She's testing the waters, trying to gauge if there's still an opening. But here's the crucial part. This isn't necessarily about wanting you back romantically. Sometimes it's about wanting to know she still could have you if she wanted. It's about maintaining that option, that ego boost. Then comes the regret, but not the kind you think. She's not necessarily regretting losing you as a person. She's regretting losing the version of herself that she was with you. Because when you're with someone who genuinely cared about you, who saw your potential, who believed in you, you get comfortable being that better version of yourself. Now she's looking at her life post-breakup and realizing that maybe she was actually happier, more motivated, more herself when you were around. That's a hard pill to swallow. But here's what I need you to understand, and this is critical. How you handle this moment determines everything. If she reaches out, if she starts showing these signs of realizing what she lost, you have 3 options. You can fall back into old patterns, thinking this means she wants you back. You can be cold and vindictive, trying to make her feel as bad as she made you feel. Or you can stay in your power and respond from a place of genuine strength. The third option is the only one that actually serves you. Because here's the truth. Her realizing she lost you isn't about her wanting to fix things. It's about her processing her own choices. And your job isn't to make that easier for her or harder for her. Your job is to keep building the life that made you attractive in the first place. Look, when she realizes you've moved on, it's validation that you made the right choice in walking away. It's proof that your worth isn't determined by whether someone chooses to see it or not. You didn't become more valuable when she started paying attention again. You were always valuable. The difference is now, you know it too. So if she comes back around, if she starts showing interest again, remember this: you're not the same person who was willing to accept whatever scraps of attention she was willing to give. You've grown, you've evolved, and that growth isn't negotiable. The best revenge isn't making her realize what she lost. It's building a life so fulfilling that whether she realizes it or not becomes irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, the only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. Keep building, keep growing, and never look back.